Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's concept that we are going to discuss is about testing, different types of testing and the various tools and technologies that are required to start the career in testing. Alright, so whoever wants to start their career into testing and become an expertise in testing can please refer to my sessions further. So today's session will be about the agenda part, the common terms about the testing, the various different types of testings that are followed in the industry, and also the QA tools that are required for a person to be a tester. Okay, so first let me start with testing. So what is testing? It may be helpful for any commoner to understand what a testing is, irrespective of the degrees they have done. Alright, so let's take a common example. You are preparing some food today, like for example, maybe you are preparing coffee. Okay, you maybe are preparing it for the first time and you haven't prepared it any time, alright? And you have to prepare because the guests have arrived and you do not have any other choice than preparing by yourself. Okay, so what will you do? You prepare the coffee and of course, since you are doing it for the first time, you will have to taste it a spoon before giving it to the guest, right? So what you do, you just taste a spoon of coffee and check whether it is perfect or no, or whether it is as expected or no. So what is this called? Tasting. In common terms and in technical terms, it is nothing but testing. See, coffee or any of the food products we are tasting. But in testing, what we do? There is software testing. So multiple different softwares, products that are available in the market, we do testing. So that is nothing but software testing. So in technical terms, testing is nothing but verifying or validating whether that software is as per the requirement or is it as per the expectations or no. This is nothing but in simple way to understand what a testing is. Alright, yes, there are deeper definitions about software testing. What is actually testing? How do we perform the testing? And how do we make sure the product is without any defect or bug in it? Okay, there are deeper knowledge, but everything comes with experience. So as a fresher, if you want to start a career, you need to know some of the basics. So this session is all about basics, and deeper thing will definitely come as you go forward into the session. Okay, so I guess the testing is clear. Any doubts, please comment and I will be answering the ones. Okay, so in brief, testing is nothing but there is some product, you can consider it as a coffee, you have prepared it and you are tasting it. You are testing it whether it is as per the requirement or no. That is called testing. Okay, now see, in testing we have multiple different types like manual testing and automation testing. Now, what is manual testing? I'll explain it in a common terms first. Okay, see, you prepared the coffee and maybe one of your guests told that only 1 spoon of sugar is enough. Okay, so you put 1 spoon of sugar for that person who needs only with 1 spoon of sugar, and you stirred it and you just drank 1 teaspoon, you manually tasted it, right? So that's called manual testing. Okay, now maybe you're working on some shop or something and there they have some machines which will tell you 1 spoon of sugar is added, it is perfect. Okay, so what is this now? This is automation testing, automation tasting. There are tools, automatic tools or robots or machines which help identifying whether the food that is cooked or the coffee that is prepared is as per the requirement or no. Okay, that is automation testing, and manual testing is where you yourself go and check it by your hands. Okay, so this is the common definition. Now coming to the technical one, manual testing means we as a QA tester would test it by our hands, we do the testing manually. Like whenever we get a software build, we sit and test it. So what do we mean by we sit and test it is nothing but we do write the test cases and start testing. Now what are test cases? Of course, definitely I'm going to explain this in the further defined sessions. Okay, so we do it manually, means every time we go and do it. Whenever the software development is done, every time we go and do the testing. That is called manual testing. Okay, now automation testing means, as I just told automation testing is done by some of the tools, some of the robotics. So same thing, automation testing is also being done by some of the tools, some of the techs that are already been there in the market, or we are building it from the scratch. Okay, now see how a machine is developed to taste the coffee. Same thing, we can develop something to test the software. Yeah, so that is called automation testing. Okay, now how to build the automation testing software, how to actually automation works, we'll know this in the deeper sessions of automation. Okay, so for now we are clear with what is testing, what is manual testing, and what is automation testing. Yeah, so now let's go in brief description about QA tools that are required. Okay, see, as a tester we would know first what is testing, layers of testing, and then how do we perform this testing now. So yes, everyone is clear now about how do we do the testing, right? Now there are some of the tools that are required to test. So first of all, what happens, project comes for testing. So we need to do the planning of this project. So first step is planning of the project. What will be there in this planning of the project? In the planning of the project, there will be the discussion about what you need to test, what is the actual layer that you need to test, what different types of testing you need to perform, what data will be required for testing. Okay, what would be the scope of this project? So all this in terms of data you will have to document it, right? So for project planning you would need some documenting tool. Okay, so basic documenting tool you can use or you must know is Microsoft Word. Now about this section I will briefly describe about how do you use Microsoft Word, how do you create a template basically having all the project plans necessary. I will have this in the detailed session of project planning where we will understand what is project, how do we plan as a tester, what and all questions we need to ask when we are planning a project, when we are accepting some document, what are the things that we need to accept on behalf of ourselves. So all this we will have in project planning. So first step is project planning, and as a tester we should know about Microsoft Word as the tool. About this tool, yes, I will have in the detailed session. So this is all about agenda. Alright, so next tool that we should know for starting the career into testing is sprint planning. Now yes, project planning ho gaya, so now you need to do the sprint planning as well. So sprint planning means you came up with the requirements, right? You got the project, you got what types of testing you should do, you got when you should submit this, you got what type of data is required, which on all environment you should test. Now you need to plan it accordingly, right? Like when you gonna finish this, what are the timelines for the completion of so and so project, how many resources are required for this. So resources mean how many employees will be required to work on this project, how much data set will be required, what and all tools will be required, what and all licenses we should prefer. So all this planning will be the part of sprint planning. So wherein you will be requiring some of the tool, and one of the tool for sprint planning is Jira, okay, which is J-I-R-E. I'm spelling it because I hope maybe a commoner as well see looking onto this session, so it is helpful for them. Of course I'll put up the tools and technologies in the description below, which will be helpful for everyone to go through. So Jira as a tool will be helpful for sprint planning, wherein you will be planning the complete project strategies that will follow the timelines and the resources that will be allocated. Okay, now the third tool which will be required is for communication. Yes, we have planned the project, we have planned the sprints, we have allocated the resources. Now we need a communication tool to talk between the resources, right? So that communication tool may be Slack, Teams, Hangout, Meet, anything. So any of the communication tool knowledge is required. I hope this tool knowledge most of them would be having, but still I will take it in the session whenever I explain the communication tool session. Okay, so this communication tool will be required to have the understanding, to have the discussions, some minor discussions where you cannot go for mails, you can just quickly go and ping someone over the Teams or Skype or Hangout or Slack, anywhere. Okay, now you need a fourth tool, which is document repository. So what is this document repository? See, you did project planning first step, second step you did the sprint planning, resources allocated, you have communication tool where they're talking, they're developing, they're testing, all the steps are happening. Now what does this means when we say sprint planning? We had multiple resources on this project, right? So when there are multiple resources, we have multiple documents being created which is shared among the team. Yes, so these documents you need to keep it in a central repository where it is accessible to everyone, every member of the team, especially the persons who are working and persons where you are going to hand over the project. So which is nothing but we need a document repository, and the tool that is required for document repository is SharePoint. So what is SharePoint, how to create the document into SharePoint, how to make the document accessible and shareable to everyone, I will have a deep discussion on SharePoint. Okay, so basically we'll need document repository where it is helpful, where I can say maybe I and you are working on one project and we have created few documents, and maybe I'm on leave someday and the client comes asking to please share some document. So you being shared with that repository, you can share my access to the documents when I'm not available on behalf of me. Okay, so these are the helpful. There are multiple advantages and disadvantages of the tool as well, which I will explain whenever I'm taking the session on document repository SharePoint. Okay, so this is the fourth tool. So now in brief we have known about project planning, Microsoft Word as a tool, sprint planning, Jira as a tool, communication mein Teams, Slack, Hangout, any tool we can use. Then document repository, SharePoint as the tool, and then now we need test management, bug management. This is the fifth tool. See, firstly you have got the project requirements, then you have allocated the resources, then in communication you're testing it, and then you are also documenting it. Now of course you will be getting the bug, right? So you need to log a bug. So what a bug is, what a defect is, when do you log it, what is the level of bug, is it high, medium, low, all these things we will explain in the bug session. Okay, but these are the basics tools that are required is what I'm trying to say in this session. Okay, so for bug management also Jira is the tool. So JIR is Jira tool. I will take in two wider sessions how it is helpful for planning and how it is helpful to log a bug and work on it. Okay, this is the fifth thing, and last is sixth one, which is nothing but automation tools. See, there are multiple wide variety of automation tools available in the market. We can go for already built one, or we can build something from scratch based on the requirements. Okay, so for example, automation tools, we can go for Selenium, PyCharm, Java, Python is the programming languages. We have Cucumber, BDD framework, lots of automation tools available in the market. We can have this. So for my current sessions, I will be selecting few tools of the automation version. Okay, so for now we have completed almost what is testing, what are different types of testing, and what are the tools that will require for a person to go and start their career into testing. Okay, so only session's main motto was just to start up with the agenda. Now every other next section of this, like every tool, I will explain in detail in the further upcoming sessions. Alright, any doubts, any queries, please comment. I will be answering the questions, and also you can connect me over the LinkedIn which I have put in the description page. We can of course further discuss, and I'll be coming live soon. We can discuss there as well. For any queries, please reach out. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a great day.